Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YURP Nation Reactions. I am Tyrone. Today on the channel, we have Atomic Heart exclusive hands-on preview for IGN. I did my reaction to the launch trailer of this, and I was intrigued by it, but the only thing, it was like super fast. I couldn't get any real details about it, but the visuals were fast, bloody. I don't know so much about the story or anything like that, but maybe with this hands-on preview will tell us that. And right now, I'm playing God of War Ragnarok on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/YURPNationGaming. So I advise you get over there and subscribe, because I'm streaming that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. or at least I try around 8 p.m. between 8 and 9. And on the second, Callisto Project's coming on, right? I mean, not Callisto Project. Sorry. The Callisto Protocol is coming along. And I will be streaming that at 8 p.m. on Friday on the second. So this is one of the games that I'm leaning towards. doing that. But remember, all my gameplays will be posted right here on YURP Nation Reactions, all right? Let's go ahead and get into it.
Shit.
Atomic Heart wears its influences on its sleeve. It's a graphic first-person shooter packed with superpower-like abilities and owes a lot to classics of the genre Bioshock and Half-Life. However, that doesn't mean it hasn't got many of its own unique ideas and surprises also hidden up that same sleeve. And from playing a considerable amount of Mundfish's debut, there's a lot to be excited about.
Damn.
Atomic Heart lulls you into familiar territory straight off the bat, albeit in a very unfamiliar world. Its opening takes obvious cues from Bioshock Infinite's masterful introduction to Columbia, as you take a leisurely trip through a peaceful, alternate history Soviet city. Thanks to the big brains at the fictional Facility 3826, robots have been integrated into society and help relieve the public from everyday stresses and labour. The calm is short-lived, however, as inevitably the AI turns not so friendly and the game begins in earnest. From there, I've jumped around to several different points in Atomic Heart to get a proper feel of what it has to offer, consistently
that's like
being surprised
iRobot.
by what came next. It's not the straight-up corridor shooter some may envisage, nor a sprawling open world full of nooks to explore, or a puzzle-filled brain teaser. It's all of those things, and more. The scope of Atomic Heart is impressive, as you'll make your way through its many distinct and large sci-fi complexes over the course of its 20-hour-plus campaign. Atomic Heart's closest analogue structurally would likely be Halo Infinite, an open world littered with mobs of enemies and linear story dungeons to dip in and out of. These dungeons are where the majority of main missions lie and comprise of learning more about the facility, the people behind it, and what exactly has gone wrong there. You battle through sections patrolled by rogue AI units before, more often than not, facing off against a challenging boss. Atomic Heart isn't reinventing the wheel in this regard, but definitely adds its own flair into the mix.
Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the All-Soviet Exhibition Center!
What the fuck are you babbling on about?
One of the first things that struck me about Atomic Heart is its thoroughly distinctive art style. It's a gorgeous game packed with lush forests, eye-catching architecture, and all manner of bonkers-looking machinery. It's noticeably vast, endlessly creative, and frankly hard to take in all at once as you drive, zipline, swim, and more often than not, run away from killer robots. These robots are each a visual delight to take in, but rarely are you ever given the opportunity to do so, as razor blades, electric pulses, and flying kicks are hurled at you with frightening regularity. They each emphasize the intelligence in AI, never shying away from a battle or afraid of showing off their varied arsenals. Of course, there are larger scale enemies and boss battles aplenty, both in linear story sections and in arenas across the open world. They often provide challenge and spectacle in equal measure, as they unleash one devastating attack after another while you chip away at their monstrous health bars. Atomic Heart isn't afraid to switch up its combat either, frequently flitting between frantic firefights against onrushing hordes to slower, more deliberate melee duels. It's an exciting way to keep you on your toes, and a testament to the work Mundfish has done to maintain balance. First and foremost, it's a shooter, and has an impressive collection of firearms to back that up. These range from the relentlessly chattering AK-47 to heavyweight RPGs.
Boom! Not
Then there's
needed
the more
to use on that.
experimental end of the spectrum, reserved for guns that blast out electric bombs, to something that can only be described as a large metal pole that fires out whirling blades that carve up enemies before returning
Let's
to your hand.
go!
And the whole shooting feels competent, if not spectacular, fitting
go.
somewhere in between the rustic feel of Fallout and the snappier gunplay of Call of Duty. Speaking of your hand, an essential part of the Atomic Heart kit is the glove, a sci-fi piece of gear that grants elemental powers, using the electrified shock to halt mechanical foes in their stride before following up with a flurry of bullets is a surefire way of causing a lethal circuit malfunction. Similarly, some of the telekinesis attacks are glorious to wield as you lift a group of enemies into the air before introducing them back to the ground with a violent thud.
Boom!
It's a joy to play with, and even more fun to experiment with. Freezing an enemy before shattering through their brittle metal shell with a massive axe is always a good time. A stellar example of the hand-to-hatchet combat is one of Atomic Heart's earliest missions. You're thrown into the deep end as you're taught how to survive in the dark corridors of the facility's many underground labs. Atomic Heart is not an easy game. It has been designed first and foremost as a hardcore shooter experience. Although difficulty options are available, it doesn't take many hits or kicks from a mustachioed android to take you down. Evading and knowing when to attack takes timing and an ability to learn and read your enemy. Thankfully, more powerful charged attacks are signalled by a glowing red ring moments before impact. Miss it though, and you'll be on the floor scrambling for a health kit. This patient back and forth melee combat will be familiar to anyone who has played almost any action game over the past decade, but nonetheless, it's a surprise to see it pop up in a first-person shooter. It's much less forgiving or quick hitting as something like Dying Light or Far Cry, instead making each heavy swing meaningful rather than relying on a flurry of hits to get out of a sticky situation. It's almost survival horror in nature, with moments from the aforementioned early level leaning into this. Its dark hallways are lit only by the occasional flicker of light, and the oppressive silence broken by the sound of smashing glass, as bloodthirsty robots practice what they're going to do with your skull. As I hesitantly made my way through, I couldn't help but be reminded of the first time I entered Rapture, or some of Half-Life 2's scarier moments. Another Valve game Atomic Heart draws influence from is Portal. Not from any of its robot designs, but the surprising revelation that puzzles play such a considerable part. Test sites are puzzle boxes lasting anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour to complete. They're essentially abandoned lab facilities requiring you to put combat skills through a cerebral exam. For example, use your glove's shock ability to magnetize nodes, which in turn move platforms to help you on your way. The puzzles I've tried haven't been the most challenging, but provide a welcome change of pace nonetheless, and come with the added bonus of granting valuable upgrades upon completion. Weapons and abilities can be modified and upgraded throughout, a process that's essential in taking down the many threats. Robots are controlled by a central AI that is always on the lookout for you. Ways of combating its glare include avoiding its cameras, either by disabling them or making the glove perform its best gravity gun impression to hurl objects as a distraction. Make a wrong move and you'll quickly find yourself overcome by enemies as the facility sends them out straight from the production line to attack, the more the alert level is raised. It really evokes the feeling of going up against an intelligent, aggressive global ecosystem that acts as a unit rather than occasional pockets of activity. The hours I've spent with Atomic Heart have left me yearning for more. It's an engrossing world to get lost in, with dynamic combat and inspired art and enemy design. I have a few doubts over whether the main story will deliver a tale worthy of such a stellar location, and I've seen some heavy-handed writing and performances that leave a little to be desired. Then there's the nauseating forward roll animation that had my stomach churning on more than one occasion. I can't say these gripes were ever enough to fully take away from all the exciting things I found myself engaging with along the way though. Time will tell if Atomic Heart lives up to its lofty aspirations, but it certainly makes a very strong first impression. For more on Atomic Heart, check out this boss battle gameplay or a deep dive into a history of the game's world.
Okay. Well, man, like I played a little bit of Bioshock. Of course, I played Halo. You know, Halo was, I mean, everything to me back in the day. I still haven't even finished Infinite, to be honest with you. And I haven't played Half-Life, but I played Portal. I love Portal, and if they say that you know, like the environment and the puzzles and things like that is kind of like Portal, I get that. That's really, I like that. I like innovation like that, and certain ways of traversal is different than other things. So that's really cool. The only thing that he said that about the story, we don't know so much, you know, about the story or how good it's gonna be. That's the thing that has to captivate me, man. That's the reason why I like playing single player games, is because of the story. Like, for sure. You know, I could play games like Call of Duty and Warzone and what's the other? You know what I'm talking about. I could play games like that, like Apex, like that. But it's just not for me. I like story games, and if you can take me out of the third person world, right, from where you're seeing your character and it's like you're playing as a character, but you're like watching a movie in a way, but you can put it in a first person status, and you can do you know, the RPG open world thing like that, and make me actually like it, then you've done a tremendous job as game developers. You know what I'm saying? But either way, it does look good. It looks fluid. Looks like it has a lot of elemental things about freezing and burning and stuff like that. That's freaking cool. And I believe this game comes out in February. Like I said, I told my friends, I was like, these next couple of months, we got some real good games coming out up until like March. So, and I'm getting majority of them. You know what I'm saying? I already got God of War Ragnarok. I'm streaming right now. I'm about to do the Callisto Protocol, and then you got Forsaken coming out, and Dead Space remake coming out. All that stuff is in Hogwarts Legacy. Oh man, I'm a big loss in that world. You know, all that stuff is coming out in February or before. That's amazing, man. So get over to my Twitch, all right? Twitch.tv/Europe Nation Gaming, and follow me there, because I will be playing those games, all right? Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, all right? Around 8 or 8:30, around that. But that does look cool. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. And if you like my reaction, hit that thumbs up, because it really does help out this channel, all right? And if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything I do right here on Europe Nation Reactions. You guys have a good day, all right? Peace.